Hello, welcome to Chit Chat, the encouraging one another podcast. A little brief preview. This is Sundae and Mr. Goessl, my guest today on the Chit Chat, encouraging one another podcast. And this is, it's been a long time. I can't wait to talk to him and hear some more of their amazing music. Kick back and relax. This is Chit Chat. What's always about encouraging others.
Kiss me once, kiss me twice, kiss me once again. It's been a long time. No, I haven't felt like this, my dear, since I can't remember when. It's been a long time. You'll never know how many dreams I dreamed about you, or just how empty they all seem without you. So kiss me once, kiss me twice, kiss me once again. It's been a long time. Kiss me once, kiss me twice, kiss me once again. It's been a long time. No, I haven't felt like this, my dear, since I can't remember when. It's been a long time. You'll never know how many dreams I dreamed about you, or just how empty they all seem without you. So kiss me once, kiss me twice, kiss me once again. It's been a long time.
This is Chit Chat, the encouraging one another podcast, where it's all about encouragement.
Hello and welcome to Chit Chat, the encouraging one another podcast. I'm your host, Jody Sheffield, and we are back with another exciting podcast. Every podcast is exciting, every episode, and each new guest every week is exciting. Come on, really? I have fun every week talking to amazing people from all walks of life. Today, I'm excited to be interviewing an amazing couple from my neck of the woods, the Pacific Northwest, and they are very gifted musicians. This charming husband-wife duo truly has one of the most unique styles of music I've ever heard. Not only do you hear some amazing music when you see them in person or on the videos, YouTube and whatnot, they also have a great sense of humor. They're pretty funny as well. Sunday shares some funny lines, and he's a hit to listen to and to watch and to hear their music. And over the past 8 years, they have put out 7 albums, and get this, performed over 1,500 shows. 1,500. I'm so excited to have them on today and kind of pick their brains a little bit and their inspiration, who's encouraged them along their career, and sit back and relax. This is Sundae and Mr. Goessl here on the Chit Chat, encouraging one another podcast, where it's always about encouraging others. Hello there.
Hello.
How are you guys doing?
Doing great. How are you doing?
A little cold today here in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, that seems like this time of year starts getting wet and cold over there.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have Sundae Mr. Goessl on today, the Chit Chat encouraging one another podcast. I'm excited to talk to you guys.
Thank you so much. We're happy. We're happy to be talking with you today.
Before we get started, I'd like to have pick my guest brains with some icebreaker questions. I like to have 5 because this part of the podcast is brought to you by Taquiza. They're a local taco shop in the area, and they have 5 kinds of tacos. Do you guys love tacos?
Of course, we love tacos.
All right. Question number 1. If you guys, this is for each of you, go invent your own holiday, what holiday would it be and why?
Ooh, I think I'm going to go first. Mr. Goessl, you can wait your turn. I would invent a holiday similar to Halloween, where everybody had to dress up in a costume and you had to guess who they were with the costume, but then also guess who they were in real life. Like, did you see Heidi Klum's costume for this year's Halloween, by the way?
I did not. I've seen some in the past.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's like the queen of Halloween, but she dressed up like a worm. I was like, what? You would never be able to tell that it was Heidi Klum in there.
These
so that's
the
holiday.
Crazy ones for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Do
Mr.
you have
Goessl?
a holiday you would make up, Mr. Goessl?
Oh man, I never thought about that until now.
That's why brain pondering icebreaker questions.
Holiday that I would invent. If I could make up a holiday. Oh no.
Maybe something with music.
Maybe. Yeah, I think Guitar Day, where you buy people, everybody buys somebody a guitar.
Oh my gosh.
I think you could be onto something. I mean, hey, you never know. It could work.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Question number 2. You're both superheroes, and each of you have a sidekick. That sidekick is an animal. What animal would be your sidekick?
Definitely a fox.
Oh, okay.
Oh, definitely my dog, Jackie O'Sassis, little Chihuahua mix.
I have a question for Jackie at the end of the podcast, by the way, for you guys. I did a lot of research on you guys. So, yeah, Jackie and a fox. Gotcha. Okay, question number 3. What is something people might not know about you guys?
Well, people might not know that we just launched our very own record label this week. So it's a very new project for us, and we are releasing. Thank you so much. We're releasing our first single off of our new record label tomorrow. So it's been a busy week getting ready for that big launch, and yeah, it's all very new and exciting, and looking forward to sharing that with the whole world here pretty soon. What
is the record label, the name you guys have?
Oh, Sun Goose.
Sun Boost?
Sun Goose, like the bird, a goose.
Gotcha. All right. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Question number 4. You guys seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, right? They get in the phone booth?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys are getting zapped in any historic era, and you're taking your music with you. What era you guys want to pop into and start and bring the Sundae Mr. Goessl music to them?
Ooh. Well, We play a lot of music from like the 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of our favorite era of music. So I wonder if they would even they probably wouldn't even bat an eye if we went back in time and played music there. Like, yeah, everybody plays this kind of music.
I go to 1949.
You go to 1949. That's so specific.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a very specific person. Is the reason why 1949?
To go hang out with Les Paul.
Oh, okay.
And be around him when he, first started inventing the electric guitar and multi-tracking and tape looping and everything.
When was your first time you played a guitar?
A real guitar? When
Sure.
I toy guitar when I was pretty young.
Okay.
But I think a real guitar, I guess, when I was 8 or 9.
My dad gave me a guitar, and I had other things going on, sports, and he was always singing old country songs. I'm from Arkansas, so I wish some of the days I would have taken a little more time and learned the guitar, but yes.
Yeah, I wasn't into sports, so my parents were like, "Oh boy, we better get him something." So they got me a guitar, and it worked.
Awesome. For those listening out there who might not know who you guys are, could you share a little brief bio about yourself and when and where you guys met?
Absolutely. So we're Sundae and Mr. Goessl. We're a musical act, and we have been performing together for the past 9 years, maybe a little more than that. And we perform classic music basically from the 1920s to today, but we do it all in the vaudeville nostalgic style.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Goessl mentioned Les Paul a little bit ago, and Les Paul had an act with his wife, Mary Ford, back in the 50s, where they would cover old songs in a new way. And that's kind of what we have been doing with this act, been covering either old songs and kind of repackaging them for new listeners, or covering new songs and doing them in an old style, kind of like postmodern jukebox.
Okay.
But I feel like maybe we got started a little earlier than PMJ.
You're from Acme, Washington.
Acme, Washington. Shout out to Acme. That's right.
I moved here. I joined the Navy in Bremerton in 1990. And I just now heard of Acme, Washington.
Yeah, there's not much to it. It's a pretty small town.
Is there one sign that says welcome and now you're leaving?
Yeah, they don't even have a stoplight in Acme, Washington. So
Reminds me of some little towns down in Arkansas.
I'll bet.
After being together for a while and being musically talented and stuff, what was the inspiration for you guys coming together and singing and performing in your younger years?
Well, let's see. When I first met Jason, Mr. Goessl over here, a friend took me to see him play guitar, and I was living in Seattle at the time, and I was in a couple of different bands, like an indie rock band and a country band. But my real passion and love was jazz music. And when I saw him play guitar, I just my mind was blown. I couldn't believe how good he was at guitar, and just was really inspired by his playing, and it really made me want to get back into jazz. And so I randomly saw him at a party, and I tapped him on the shoulder. I was like, "Hey, I saw you play guitar one time. Do you want to play music with me?" And the rest is history.
Just hooked him in.
Yeah.
Did you have any inspirations for jazz, like a specific musician, or was this the era, or what really drew you into jazz?
Well, with this project, we both realized that we loved the 1930s, like music from the 30s, like Gershwin and Cole Porter and all these things. And so our project started out with only music that was from the 1930s. But I originally got really inspired with jazz music from my vocal teacher in Seattle, Greta Matassa. She taught me pretty much everything I know about jazz. I started studying with her when I was 20 and studied with her for about 5 years. And, you know, all of our accolades and things all of the awards that I've received were pretty much under her instruction and under her inspiration and mentorship.
And the same question for Jason. What was your inspiration when you were a musician and playing the guitar?
Well, I started lessons when I was 9, and I really wanted to play guitar because I wanted to be Slash, and CeCe DeVille, and Kirk Hammett, and the list goes on of all 80s rock guitar players. And I had my 80s hairstyle and my clothing.
Come on, be specific. And, he had a mullet. Let's be real.
And
it flowed, I'm sure, right?
And my guitar at the time was a pink guitar with yellow and blue splash paint, because it's close to guitar from Poison. And I knew all the AC/DC and all the rock songs when I was like 11, 12, 13 years old. And I was good at playing it. And my band director was like, you should go to jazz camp. There's scholarship money. I'm sending you to jazz camp. So I'm like, jazz is boring. I don't want to go to jazz camp. So I didn't really know what jazz was. There wasn't enough distortion. There wasn't enough hair or makeup, I guess. So I went to jazz camp in Shell Lake, Wisconsin, northern Wisconsin. And there was amazing, all the high school. I was only 13, so I was just getting into middle school, and all the high school kids were phenomenal. And the guitar instructor there, first thing he said to me when I go to class guitar, it's like, oh, somebody brought their surfboard. And
was that in reference to your guitar?
Yeah, my pink guitar.
Oh, I see.
But by the end of that week, I was converted. Just these players were so good. Not only could they, play these jazz tunes that are way harder than any of the rock songs. They could like play the Eddie Van Halen stuff and all the rock songs, and like 20 times more tunes than I knew from the rock era in the 80s. And they just said, if you know how to play jazz, if you learn how to play jazz, you learn the whole guitar. You learn all the notes. You learn what everything does. You learn the reason for everything, and you'll be able to play anything, pop, country, rock that you want to play. Come a lot easier. So I'm like, okay, I'll learn these chords and these notes and these scales. And went back home after jazz camp, and they sent me home with music to listen to that I never heard before, and start discovering these jazz guitar players and fusion guitar players that just blew my mind. And I locked myself in my room and practiced from there on out 4 to 6, even 8 hours a day. I'd wake up 2 hours before school and practice. I'd practice during my lunchtime. I'd practice when I got home. I didn't do anything but practice. And then when I got my license, I went to the closest university to find college kids to play with, to play jazz with. And then, went to college for music for a little bit, and then just started getting picked up with bands and making a living playing music when I was 18, and played all sorts of music, country, funk, whatever, paid the bills. And when I met Kate, finally years later, I was playing in a bunch of country bands, funk bands, surf band.
He was actually playing in Jessica Lynne Witty's band, who was married to Raymond Hayden, who is how we got connected.
Yeah,
that's funny because I had them both in my show, actually.
Right.
Nice.
Jessica first.
Yeah.
Raymond was a musician, so I had him on as well. So
yes, I love this small world.
Yeah, Jess's band was so much fun to play in. So when Kate asked me to play, I'd play a few jazz gigs here and there, and I always love it. It's my favorite music to listen to. It's my favorite music. I collect records. I love old jazz stuff, to Les Paul, Herb Ellis, Joe Pass, and anything that has like guitar duo, trio. That's my favorite music to listen to. And I'm like, another opportunity to play this, and that's great. So Kate and I started working on stuff, and then realized that we actually had something a little special with this act, and we could actually do a little bit more than just playing, in the corner in a restaurant, and actually could probably take this act on the road and do something with it.
You mentioned records. This younger generation, probably has no idea what a record is.
They're making a comeback, Jody.
My dad had a big giant stereo about the size of a coffin, and I had about 15-foot headphones, and I listened to all kinds of records when I was a kid, man.
That's
nice.
Awesome.
So what came first, dating or you guys on the road singing and writing songs together?
Well, we played music together for, I would say, like about 9 months before we started dating. So yeah, the music came first, and by the time, we went on our first date, we'd been practicing so much together and knew each other really well that we kind of knew on our first date that we were meant to be together.
When did you guys start really writing songs and taking your show on the road?
That would be 8 years ago was our first tour.
You remember when and where? Your first stop?
We flew, at that time we were living in Seattle, and we flew out to the Midwest, and we played in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Illinois. So we had like a 2-week Midwest tour to just try it out and see how it went. And it was so successful that that has been our shortest tour that we've ever booked. We've booked maybe, 30 national tours since then.
Yeah. Generally 2 or 3 tours a year.
Yeah.
For the last 8 years.
Yeah. That range from 2 weeks long to 3 months long. So it depends on.
What does your inspiration come from when you're writing songs? Do you just kind of ditty something together, or is that from experiences, or what?
Well, so we've actually only written a handful of songs together. Most of what we do with this act is arranging. So we take existing like old jazz tunes, like Gershwin songs, Cole Porter, things like that. And we arrange them in a very specific way that fits our act as a duo. Mr. Goessl uses a lot of live multi-tracking tools. So he'll like do a loop when we start the song, so he can record the entire song all the way through. So then he hits the button at the end, and then we can solo over top of what we've just recorded. And he's able to loop I play a ukulele bass as well. So those get looped together, and then he takes a shredding guitar solo and I take a melodica solo. And then we come back together. So it's really more about arrangements than songwriting, although we've written, maybe 10 songs together.
What's melodica?
The melodica?
Yes.
It is my favorite instrument. It is a little tiny keyboard that is, you make the sound by blowing air through it.
Okay.
So I often tell people that it's like if an accordion and a harmonica had a baby, it would be the melodica.
And that reminds me too. You do a little bit like a comedy during your routines too. I saw some of your little funny jokes you shared.
Yes. Yeah. So it's more of I would call it an act rather than a band, because we do a lot of theater programming and outreach and community projects and things like that. So Sundae Mr. Goessl is kind of an experience, I would say, from the comedy to the banter to the little bits that we do during the show, and then just our crazy song arrangements. A lot of people think that we are a full band before we come out and say, oh no, it's just us two, but we have 5 instruments between us. So it's a pretty fun show.
How'd you get your nickname Sundae?
Oh, that's a great question. Before we started Sundae Mr. Goessl full time, I was working at the Sloop Tavern in Ballard, Washington. Shout out to the Sloop. And my shift was on Sundays. And Mr. Goessl would kind of just randomly show up every single Sunday. And I kind of got the hint that maybe he had a crush on me.
Well played, sir. Well played.
I was on Sundays. I was playing up in Skagit Valley with Canute Bell and the Blue Collars, a kind of a Waylon Jennings style country band. And I would wear my cowboy boots and cowboy shirt, cowboy hat, and go up there and play for 4 hours. And then I'd come back, and I lived in Ballard, and I didn't want to drink anything during the gig or because I had to drive an hour home. So I lived close to the sloop, and I would come back and I would go to the sloop around 11 or 12, and Kate was bartending, and I'd always be all dressed up in my like Waylon Jennings outfit. So I'd go in, and I like started calling her Sundae, and she'd call me Mr. Goessl and tell all the locals and people over at the bar that I was a famous guitar player named Mr. Goessl.
Nice.
And, because they didn't know the difference that I wasn't famous, but that's fine.
Reading about you guys, you performed 1,500 shows. That is insane.
It's a lot of shows. We've done it a few times.
Those consecutively, I'll get that right, consecutively have you done in a row?
Oh, I mean, that's hard to say. We've gone several weeks where we don't have a day off.
Oh, wow.
When we were working in Seattle, sometimes we had 3 shows a day. So yeah, right now it's been a little bit less. We're probably only like 1 to 2 shows a week these days. But yeah, in our heyday, there was no days off. Sometimes we get Christmas off. Sometimes.
What are the 3 most memorable places you guys can collaborate together that you played at?
Do you know, it's funny that you asked that. We were just talking with some friends about that today. And 2 spots come to mind. One was the top of the Space Needle.
Oh, wow.
And that was really fun. We got to do a New Year's Eve celebration there. And so we played, and then, they did the fireworks with that glass floor. And I'm telling you, that was crazy.
Yeah, when they light off all the fireworks all the way up and down the Space Needle and on top, and we were in the middle on the glass floor, and we could see them all igniting and coming out from the Space Needle while we were playing.
Well,
It was intense.
Yeah.
And do you have places on your bucket list that you never played at that you really want to?
Ooh. Well, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. And if anybody from the Mount Baker Theater is listening, I would love to bring Sundae Mr. Goessl to the Mount Baker Theater in Bellingham, Washington. It's a beautiful theater, and it's near my hometown. So I'd love to play there. How about you, Mr. Goessl?
Let me think here. Well, I'd love to play Jazz Alley in Seattle. I love that venue. It's a great venue. Awesome stage.
We have the Admiral over here in Bremerton. I don't know if you've ever played over here in Bremerton or not, but when you do, let me know. I would love to come see you guys. I work a full-time job and a part-time job and a podcast, so I'm pretty busy, but I can probably do something local.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd love to play the Admiral in Bremerton.
During 2020, musicians all over the world had to cancel shows left and right because of the C word. I was reading you guys started curbside concerts. Can you share about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we were living in our RV at the time. We actually spent 3 years just touring full time on an RV. And we were just about to release our album called Fun and Fancy that was slated to be released March 17th, 2020. And then we had a full 200 show tour booked after that. So we had to just cancel everything, which was pretty devastating. So, we learned how to live stream, and we did all these other things. And then we realized, we got the shelter in place in Seattle, and we're like, we live in a house that has wheels on it. Like, we don't have to necessarily just stay here, and stay put forever. And the friends that we were living on their property, they were like, why don't you guys just go drive somewhere with your rig and do like an outside concert. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so brilliant. And, we threw it out there as an option to our fans. And we had a lot of people that, responded really positively to that. And we ended up doing an entire tour called the Curbside Concert Tour. And then the next year in 2021, we did another one. And they've become so popular that people, now that things are getting a little bit back to normal, people still just want to do these outdoor concerts because it's just, I don't know, more festive, more fun, nice weather, bring a potluck kind of thing. And it's really been a beautiful thing seeing the communities come together and, rejoicing with each other and being able to, just be together during a time that's really hard on a lot of people. And it was really special for us. And I hope we can continue doing it.
You guys have won some pretty amazing awards: the Earshot Magazine Vocalist of the Year, the Acoustic Ensemble of the Years, and others. When winning awards like that, what does it mean to you guys?
Well, I'm a little more of a curmudgeon about awards.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, it's cool and all, but I more see awards are just a good way to get better gigs because people read, oh, they won an award, they must be good. We'll listen to a minute of their music and then book them. So like accolades are really good to have to get bigger, better shows in places where nobody knows who you are.
Okay.
So that's the only value I see in awards. I don't really like the whole competition in music thing. That's just my personal opinion about it. But I know that they help in our career. So, and I appreciate it that we get them, but it's not something I don't go out to get an award to be like, look at how good I am. I like to get awards because I know we'll get bigger and better shows and get to go to places we haven't gone to yet before.
Sundae?
Well, I guess I agree in part with Mr. Goessl on that it is, kind of a way to, for people to vet you before they book you. Because a lot of this job, I mean, we do this full time, and this has been our full-time job for the last 8.5 years. So, when you have to, cold call people and reach out to people, and, basically sell yourself and like, hey, you should book me because blah, blah, blah. It is a little bit of an easier sell when you can say, hey, this reputable organization, recognized us for, this, that, or the other thing. And I will say it is kind of validating in a way for me personally, just to be like, okay, because I have the, I get the imposter syndrome a lot just in this line of work, just like so much, comparison.
Is our music good enough?
Yeah. Or like, am I good enough? And like, even like, a real musician, quote unquote. And so a lot of times when I feel down about that, I have to kind of just look back and be like, no, there's a lot of validating instances like this, or this that, make it. So you should keep going, girl.
As I was going through your website, I also found that you guys do dedication videos. That's pretty cool. Can you share about your dedication videos and how that works?
Absolutely. We actually just did one for, was it Ray and Jess's anniversary or her birthday? I can't remember which one it was for, but we did one for Ray and Jess. And they're really quite special because people ask us to do very specific songs, like they request the song that they want. And then we do a little performance of it on video, and then we insert pictures of the person that they want to dedicate it to. So so we just like pop it into iMovie and put in little photos or videos or special messages to that someone, and then we post it on YouTube. on a private link, and then they can share it with their loved one. And that was really popular during the pandemic, when people couldn't get together for the holidays, like specifically, or birthdays and things like that. So yeah, and I gotta tell you, Jody, every single one that I've edited, like I cry because it's just so beautiful. Like people, like it's just so special to have people in your life that like think of you. And each one of these videos has just been so incredibly fun to make.
The past week or so, I went through I do a lot of research, and as I watched a lot of your videos. And one of the videos I love was it looked like there's a twin sister on both sides, and she's in the middle. I love that. How did you guys do that? That is so cool.
Oh, thank you. Well, we had to do a lot of learning when we were grounded and not working during 2020. And one of the things we learned how to do is video editing, just kind of in the free programs. We use like iMovie,
And Final Cut Pro for the ones that are more
fancy,
need more time. And then we learned how to use a green screen. So the same thing that like news weathercasters use and used on TV is a green screen. And then you can just start splicing all sorts of fun stuff together and put multiples of us on the screen and all that.
Yeah.
And what song was that too? I forgot.
Yeah, Kathy's Clown.
That's right. You've done a lot of outreach programs, events, and opportunities for people of all ages. Can you share about a few of those you have done?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the ones that were the most fun is we got to do 3 songwriting classes with 4th graders.
Oh, wow.
So it was like 30 kids in a class, and we'd have 45 minutes to come up with a theme and write a chorus and write some lyrics, and then we'd bring our computer and we'd record it. So I'd play guitar and Kate would sing, and then we'd have the kids sing the choruses along with us. And these were in the music room, so we'd have them play little hand percussion things or whatever they had to make noise. And that was a lot of fun. We've also done a lot of melodica classes. So schools would get a sponsor to buy 25 or 30 melodicas for a class.
Oh, wow.
And then would go in and Kate would, teach them all how to play the melodica and, little songs people could, that can understand, like row, row, row your boat, or Mary Had a Little Lamb. And then all the kids would get a melodica.
How cool is that, seeing kids' faces light up?
Oh my gosh. It's you never know what you're going to get when you're going into a classroom, and to see every single student completely engaged the entire class was thrilling. It was amazing.
Some of my favorite classes as a kid was music. It was here's some maracas, or here's a tambourine, or here's something just to make sounds and music. That was always fun. I had amazing music teachers today, and I still I cherish those memories of music classes for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Most people, I think, do. And I think that, when coming in with these melodicas, which, a lot of kids don't know what they are. I mean, adults don't even know what they are, really. It's really exciting to kind of see the light in their eyes, like, ooh, what is this? How does this work? And we hope to be doing a lot more melodica outreach programs here in Wisconsin and beyond. I actually just got finished writing a melodica method book that's going to be coming out in the next couple of months. So we can incorporate that with our classes, and we'll be actually, we sell melodicas at our shows too. So yeah, it'll be fun to have a book out as well.
And you guys share about your website and events and where people can find you on the road?
Yeah, so our website is funandfancymusic.com or SundaeMrGoessl.com. Fun and fancy is a little bit easier to spell, but either way it goes to the same place.
And can you share about your latest album you have out?
Yeah.
I did a lot of research.
Yeah, you do. Good job. Our latest album is called Dreamland, and this is a really special project for us because all 12 songs were requests from our friends, family, and fans during the pandemic, and it was kind of our way of, staying connected with, our loved ones during this crazy time, and we were able to, through our we're on a Patreon platform, which is a subscription based platform that helps artists stay creating, and so we were able to raise enough money through Patreon to buy a home studio. And so we just recorded all of our songs on this new album with our new awesome home studio equipment, and we were also able to bring the recording rig on tour with us. So each song kind of has a little bit of a different story on where we were when we recorded it, who requested the song. We did a photo shoot for each song and released each one as a single. So we have a special limited edition 30-page book that goes with the CD. Yeah, and it's just fun, little thank you to our supporters, and it's been quite a journey where it's finally released and out into the world, and we're pretty happy with it.
And you guys travel on your 30-foot Winnebago, and as Jason mentioned, your dog Jackie. Can you talk about how Jackie's a rescue dog, correct?
That is correct.
Can you tell us the story behind that?
Yeah.
Well, we were in Texas in was it winter of 2018 going into 2019, and we just got our RV fall of 2018, and the reason getting the RV was we're on the road so much and getting sick of hotels, and so
who doesn't get sick of hotels?
Yeah, and then our rent kept going up in Seattle, so we're like, well, this is dumb. We're on the road 8 months out of the year. We should just give up our place and just buy an RV, and we can spend the money we spend on rent on an awesome motorhome. So we did that, and got on the road, and Kate's like, we need a little dog with us. And we were in Texas in January 2019 playing shows down along the Rio Grande Valley because it's nice down there at that time. And we started looking online. We called about one dog named Sambuca and through Pet Finder, and the lady's like, no, you don't want Sambuca. She's, not a fun dog. We have this other dog here that you got to meet. And we're like, okay, well, we'll meet this dog. Like, okay. And we're like, we're only in town, for another week or something. Well, at that point. And so she's like, okay, go to this address. So we go out in the middle of nowhere, McAllen, Texas, back roads, gravel. I mean, Texas. Like everything your mind would think of over there. And we were like, where's this house? And finally we pull up, like, it must be here. And it's this rusted, huge metal rusted gate. And you could kind of see the house really far off. And we call and our phones weren't working. And I'm like, is this the right place? And Kate's like, I don't know. This is scary. I'm like, looks like there's like a rusty buzzer on this rusty fence. She's like, do not ring the rusty buzzer. That you don't do that here. So I did. And then all of a sudden, like within 30 seconds, all these dogs come running out from around the house. Tons of dogs.
He's like, I told you.
Yeah. Like huge dogs, all different dogs come running towards the fence. And then we see this lady walking. It took her a while to get there because this is like, 100 yards away, 150 yards away. And she walks up and has Jackie. And she doesn't really, she's speaking Spanish to us, and hands Jackie to us over the fence and says, you take now? And we're like, well, don't we got to fill out paperwork? And Jackie was stinky. She smelled so bad, and she had covered in dirt. And we both held her, and she was shaking. And we're like, oh, I don't know. I don't think so. Let's, we'll call, because what we found out was this lady was a volunteer that took care of the dogs at this ranch, and this ranch was just built for dogs, and there's about 100 dogs there.
Oh my goodness.
So we handed Jackie back over, and then she sets Jackie on the ground, and Jackie just runs around barking at all the dogs, bossing them all around like she was the queen of this place.
And I was like, that's my dog.
Yep. And then we leave and we call, the lady who kind of runs this whole Dr. Doolittle's ranch and who's also a vet and gets rescues, and it's a no-kill ranch. So if they find dogs in Texas, they bring them here. They can live there until they're adopted or just live out their life.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out they said Jackie was there for about 6 years. Her whole litter was brought there when she was a puppy, and nobody's ever adopted her. So we had to fly up to Montana for a couple weeks of shows, and then we flew back down to Texas for more shows. And we got back, a volunteer picked up Jackie, gave her a bath, and got her all cleaned up and met us. And we filled out the paperwork, and she was our dog. So
she has her own Instagram account. By the way.
So they think that one of the caretakers at the ranch really took Jackie took care of her because she knows all the commands and she's trained and she knows all the words. And
oh wow,
yeah, there was no training that had to be done with her, and she's an extremely intelligent dog. Wow. So we're like, okay, this is not like a street dog mentality here. Somebody loved you and really took care of you.
She's sitting right here with us right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hello, Jackie. This podcast is all about encouraging others any way I can. As we begin to wrap up, can you share some encouragements to someone out there who may be doubting their abilities and maybe singing or writing or performing in front of others? Can you share a little bit about, just stepping outside that box a little bit and going and using their gut and their talents and gifts?
Absolutely. One of the reasons I feel like I exist is to encourage other people and bring joy to others in their life. And, a lot of times you can look at another artist or musician and be like, oh, well, I'm never going to be as good as them.
Mm-hmm.
And as tricky as that mentality is, it's so important to realize that there is no one else on earth who would create like you create. Whether it is in music or painting or pottery or jewelry making or anything artistic or creative at all. Everyone is super duper unique, and there's no one else on earth that would think about things the way you would think about things. And that's a gift. That's something worth sharing with other people. And encouraging people to really go for it. When we decided to do this full time, I mean, we left jobs that were, very reliable paychecks and things like that. And we decided we were going to jump in full on, both feet, let's go off the high dive and being full-time musicians.
There's
and
one bottom.
yeah, right. You have to hope, and you have to have faith that something's going to be there to catch you when you take that leap. And, we are just so grateful that we've been able to, make a life and make a living out of doing the thing that we love the very most for the past almost decade now. And I just really encourage if you are listening to this and you have that instinct and you have that, goal, go for it. Like, put all of your intentions into creating something that is meaningful to you, and that brings you joy and lets you get to live out your passions in life. It's totally worth it.
And there's something about your music, it just transforms you into another dimension, another time zone. Because I just love hearing it. It's just so tranquil, and I'm so glad our paths have crossed. And I just wish you guys nothing but the best. And
on the
same
road to you.
On you're married, meaning your musical career.
Yeah.
And, if you guys are in Birmingham anytime or Silverdale, coffee's on me. I know you're on the other side of the world right now. It's so warmer on that side of the. You guys are in Wisconsin, right now, or?
Yeah, we're in Oshkosh. It was 70 degrees today. Beautiful day.
It's such an honor having you guys on. Thank you so much, and it's an honor talking to you guys, and just thank you for the time.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for having us on the show, Jody. This was super fun.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. You guys take care, and we'll be in touch sometime. And you guys want to share any music, you're more than welcome to come back and share some songs or however you want to do it. That's just to share encouragement with somebody.
Awesome. Sounds great. Thank you.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. A few months ago, I had the opportunity to interview Cheri Keaggy. She has such an inspirational story. A new album out. She's gone through some highs and lows. This song, Yours to Keep, is a great reminder about Jesus' love for us. This is Cheri Keaggy. You can check out our website, CheriKeaggy.com.
All your problems sent to me. The loneliness, the loss, the misery. The highs, the lows, and all the in-betweens. I'm yours to keep. All your burdens, give them up. Haven't you held them long enough? I know it's been so hard, all this crazy stuff, but I'm yours. Take my love, take my love, take my healing, trust my word, not your feeling. Let me wrap my love around your scars. I'm yours, please take my heart. All your reasons not to live, the shame, regret, and all the things you missed. Take hope, have heart, and let me tell you this. I'm yours, I'm yours. Take my love, take my healing, trust my word, and not your feeling. Let me wrap my love around your scars. I'm yours, please take my heart. Take my love, take my healing, trust my word, and not your feeling. Let me wrap my love around your scars. I'm yours, please take my heart. Please take my heart. Please take my heart.
That was Cheri Keaggy. You can go to our website, Cheri Keaggy at CheriKeaggy.com.
Break for 30 seconds.
Who said Tacos Tuesdays only had to be on Tuesdays? Have not been to Taquiza. Taquiza is located in the Kitsap Mall in Silverdale, Washington. Are you hungry? Everything is made fresh. It's locally owned and operated. They have tacos, and more tacos, and a variety of burritos, rice, beans, and salsa, and taco bowls. They also have a taco box that can feed the family. Check out Taquiza. That's Taquiza, tacoshop.com. They're on Facebook, and they got a food truck where you can find more of the best breakfast burritos. Life is too short. Eat more tacos at Taquiza. Are you craving donuts? Not those pre-packaged, been sitting on a shelf for who knows how long at your local grocery store donuts. No. A lone Lone Star donuts. They're made fresh daily. These donuts are not your normal one bite and done donuts. No, sir. These are big, light, fluffy, and delicious donuts. They don't have 2 or 3 toppings. They have over 50 toppings, as well as cinnamon rolls, apple fritters, and many other breakfast items. Call ahead and place your order today. Surprise your coworkers or the family with a box of these delicious donuts. Lone Star Donuts. Lone Star Donuts is located at 10876 Maury Place Northwest in Silverdale, Washington. Call and place your order today at 360-204-5021. Tell me you heard about this on the Chit Chat Encouraging One Another podcast. You can't buy happiness, but you can buy donuts. That's the same thing. That's Lone Star Donuts. These are my friends Jessica Lynne Witty and Chris Jones, Redneck Highway.
Well, it's a normal, everyday kind of evening when I come driving up on the wild-eyed woman that's leaving. She said,
Hey, where we're going, I don't have to be home. I wanna get away, don't wanna be alone.
you're in luck, girl, 'cause that's where we're going on the redneck highway. If I had it my way, we'd be in some hills and holes and pitching their sideways. Playing a little girl down some old road, baby, there's a whole lot of place to go, and we never ever hit any paved roads on the redneck highway.
On the redneck highway.
Sometimes I get a hitch and I giddy up. I wanna get with a woman that don't bitch and get all bent up.
Like me, oh, getting little dirty's all kinds of fun.
Out in the woods in that jacked up truck. Darling, come here and steer, 'cause I see a little more on the redneck highway. If I had it my way, we'd be in some hills and holes and pitching her sideways. Playing a little girl down some old road, baby, there's a whole lot of place to go, and never ever hit any paved roads. Still on up in this big old truck, and not a whole lot of places that she gets stuck.
But if it does, who cares? We'll have a party.
You're in love, yeah, on the redneck highway.
Don't you worry if the windows get a steaming
I'll
haze.
hook up the winch and it'll be okay.
Baby, drive us on, I'll
Show
show
you
you
the way on the redneck highway. If I had it my way.
We'll be in some hills and holes and pitching her sideways.
Play a little girl down some old road, baby, there's a whole lot of place to go, and we never ever hit any paved roads. Redneck highway,
Oh,
on the redneck highway. Oh, yeah. We'll be in some hills and holes and pitching their sideways on the redneck highway.
yeah.
All right.
Thank you for joining today. The Chit Chat Encouraging One Another podcast is uplifting and encouraging, and we have great guests on each and every week. My guest today was Sundae and Mr. Goessl, and they are a very unique couple and amazing musicians, and they have just, I love their songs, and just their style is very unique and different, and I really enjoy it. Hope you did too. Also want to thank them for sharing their song, It's Been a Long Time, along with Cheri Keaggy, her song Yours to Keep, and Chris Jones and Jessica Lynne Witty, Redneck Highway. It's been fun having you with us today as we try to encourage you, share some laughter and just fun conversation and music. I mean, who doesn't love music? This is Chit Chat, the Encouraging One Another podcast, which is always about encouraging others. Thank you for joining. See you back next week. This is Chit Chat, the Encouraging One Another podcast. What it's all about, encouraging others.